Good morning, and welcome to our March 29th Intermediate Planning Webinar. My name is Dan Bahe, and I am one of the Precision Business Planning Specialists here at AgSolver. And in today's webinar, we're going to be going over fixing water main issues within a field. And so this is going to be a continuation of our Precision Business Planning on the County Line South field. And so where we're tackling the water management issues up in the northwest corner explicitly. And so to go through our agenda today, we're going to be looking at the areas in the upper northwest corner and then zoning out that portion of the field, and then creating management zones and the management scenario around fixing that water management issue. And so before we hop into the application, I do want to mention that we are in Q&A mode for today. So if you have a question, please type your question in the chat box below my contact information and the support team's contact information, and I will answer your questions as we go along today. So now we'll navigate to Profit Zone Manager. So if you recall last week, what we did was we created our initial corn production 2015 scenario using today's input prices, today's commodity prices, and with a projection of yield for a field average of 215, where we're going to fall. And so, and like I was saying, within this field, it's really a productive field. There's just certain spots or certain issues that are causing us some headaches in terms of profitability and financial performance. One is up in the northwest corner up here where we're having a reduced return on investment. This northwest corner, we need to install tile lines, and then if you go south of the waterway, this is where we have actually a bit main, where if we fix that, how would that improve this area's financial performance? And so what I want to do first is actually zone out those two areas. And so what we're going to do is click on the green Add Zone button, and our drawing tools populate in the upper left-hand corner of the map. We'll click on the polygon drawing tool. We'll zoom in here. And what I'm going to do is just trace along the edge of the field boundary, along the waterway. We'll come over here, and then we'll make a diagonal line going to the north to capture all of that area. And then we'll close our zone. We'll call this zone Install Additional Tile Lines. And you can see we have a zone average yield in this spot of right around 165 bushel for a zone average on that. It's roughly about an acre in size. And so what I'm going to do is increase yield to match what the area surrounding that area yields comparable. So we believe in that exact spot we can get right around 203 to 205 bushel for a zone average. And then coming below here, we have our crop budget, so our total revenue, our expenses, equipment, seed, fertilizer, herbicide, insecticide, insurance, interest, grain drying, handling, and hauling, our land costs, labor, overhead, home, personal, any custom hire, and then finally other. Now, in this area in particular, we looked at installing about 4,000 additional feet of tile, and that cost came to roughly right around 73 cents. And then we also quoted what would it take to fix that broken tile, and at the end of the day, with labor, materials, the total cost came right around $3,000 to fix all these issues within this field or in that northwest corner. And then we looked at that, and we wanted to amortize that total cost over the entire field instead of just hyper-focusing on that acre to maybe an acre half in size. We want to spread that cost over the entire field. So if we go $3,000, in this field it's roughly about 110 acres, 109.8, we'll round it up to 110. So take 3,000 divided by 110. So that comes to an additional cost of right around $27 an acre. So we're just going to come in here and under custom hire, add an additional $27. Go ahead and click save. And for this cost, since it's only $3,000, what we're wanting to do is pay for this cost or for that installation of tile and replacing the broken tile all in 1 year. We could amortize this out over a 2 or 3 year period, but we want to pay for it and be done with it. So just going to put $27 in custom hire. Go ahead and click save. If we scroll down to that zone performance, you can see before, when we were only producing 165 bushel corn, we were actually losing $235 versus when we install that tile and pay for it all in 1 year, we're going to lose about $130. If we come back up here, we're next going to zone out this area where we have the broken tile. We will click Add Zone again. Click on the polygon drawing tool. We'll zoom in here. And like before, we're going to trace around the waterway, around the field border. And you can really see where that main is feeding into. It's right along the tile line. And so what we're going to do is come up to the area where we think it's being affected, and then just zone out that area. Connect that point. We'll call this repair broken tile. And we're going to increase yield in this spot as well, up to that 203, 204 average. We'll scroll back down and add $27 under custom hire. We'll go ahead and click save. And that's only about 0.3 acres, about a half acre in size. And so we'll scroll down and we can look at this performance. You can see we cut our loss about in half. Went from losing $83, now we're only going to lose about $44, and we're still amortizing the total cost into this. And also, on this 2017 corn production with PVP Precision Business Plan, we're also going to add that additional $27 across the rest of the field as well. So we'll scroll down under custom hire, add an additional $27. Then we'll go ahead and click save. Now we're applying the rest of that cost over the rest of the acres to give us an idea where we're going to fall. So after we look at those two zones and amortize the cost over those areas, we can then compare scenarios. In this case, so we're going to compare our actual production corn, where we're not installing the tile or not replacing the tile, versus our as of today precision business plan for this field. So you can see we have also additional costs to this field, or additional expenses. So we increased overall field expenses by about $3,000 on this particular field, $2,000 to $3,000. Along with, you can see the total field profit. We're actually losing a little bit more money as of right now, but maybe there's something that we can do in terms of agronomic, where we plant a, say, double pro, or we reduce our planting population on this particular field to offset that additional cost due to the water management issue, or installing or replacing that broken tile. And we can also print this page as well. Simply click on print. That's a nice side-by-side report. So, and as well, when we're looking at this area, we're looking at our break-even maps. So the first break-even map that we're looking at is actually our yield increase to break even. And you can see in that portion of the field we actually would need an additional 68 bushels to break even. And in our minds and in our gut and intuition of farming this field for 3 or 4 years, we knew that we could actually increase yield 68 bushel because this water management issue just showed up in the past year or so. So we looked at our break-even price, or excuse me, our yield increase to break even. Then we looked at our break-even commodity price. In this area, this is where we're actually needing $5 corn to break even. So we knew we needed to do something because theoretically, there's no way that we're going to be seeing $5 corn in 2017, but could be wrong. As well as we have our expense decrease to break even, where we need to cut expenses by $230 to break even. And so we knew something needed to happen here. So we went ahead, and our decision as of right now is to go ahead and replace or install the additional tile lines in that portion of the field. If we want to look at a return on investment map, this is one of the critical areas in the field. And so now I'd like to open the floor up for any questions anyone might have regarding this webinar. I also want to mention to you that this webinar will be posted onto our YouTube channel, where you can go and watch the rest of my webinars. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or the support team. My email is djbahe@agsolver.com, or you can contact our support team at support@agsolver.com. And then you can always call me on my cell phone, which is 319-238-1978 if you have any questions. If there is no more questions, I want to thank you for viewing our March 29th Intermediate Planning Webinar, Installing Additional Tile Lines. Thank you.